In this video essay, I'm going to be discussing the work of fairly new on the scene director Ben Wheatley. The British director Ben Wheatley has a very distinct style of filmmaking that keeps audiences on their feet throughout his career. With his feature-length films Down Terrace, Kill List, Sightseers, A Field in England, and his new high-budget film High Rise and Free Fire, which is coming out next year, Wheatley thrusted on the scene when he used to make viral videos with his friend Rob Hill and wife Amy Jump. He did animation viral videos on a website called Beta, which is an animation forum where you can also post various other pictures. He said that the main thing that put him off making feature films is the consensus you have to have between 2 or 3 characters in a room.
That's the thing that always puts me off making films, is like, you just even on with a no budget kind of thing, is that you've got to have a consensus between 2 people, or and then if you want it, it's slightly more complicated. If there's 2 people in the room, there's 3 people, and out.
He would work with friend Rob Hill and wife Amy Jump to make these viral shorts, and did animation films because he would be in charge of everything that's going on. His viral short film Cunning Stunt put him on the map for viral videos, and this is where his friend jumps over a car using special effects and camera tricks, but when he's walking back to the camera he gets hit by a car.
Right, check this out. Go on, Rob.
He also loves getting instant feedback, whether it's positive or negative, and doing viral animations got him work with big corporations doing adverts. For example, this short by Atari.
Because I'm a credible egotist and just really excited about instant feedback, so I just became obsessed by it and just started doing it all day long, every day, and just posting thousands of posts.
Wheatley lives by a simple rule that you need to put your work out there no matter what it is, and if it's good, people will watch it.
Okay, it's a very simple rule, I think, and it took me a long time to learn it. And all you have to do is you make work and you put it out there so people can see it. And if it's any good, then you get work. And that's all it is. It's no more than that, and that's what the web has done.
His second film, Kill List, in 2011, is where he started gaining credibility from audiences and critics internationally. Some would say this is a standout film which established him as a young great director in Great Britain. The film is about 2 hitmen, Jay and Gal, who messed up a job in Kiev and have been badly affected by it. And throughout the film you get clues that they may have killed a child. They go on to do more hitmen jobs for someone to make money. At the end of the movie, when they are tasked with killing a high-up member of parliament, they are led into a field where people in wooden masks are standing around a fire making a human sacrifice. This is the part where Jay kills his wife and child, mistaking them for the parliament member called the Hunchback. The members of the cult then crown him. Now this is a very important part of the film because the rest of the film he was fighting his child and wife with plastic swords that he bought from a supermarket. So it's very vital when thinking back that it links up. The main reading of the film is that the people around him are in the cult. They are trying to make him do sacrifices to make him the leader, which is a very interesting concept to viewers of the film. As this film starts out as a kitchen sink drama and escalates very vastly, audiences around the world love it. The film establishes him as an auteur, as we see themes that run from Down Terrace into this. For example, the kitchen sink drama genre runs through this, as well as the grimy thriller genre. It also focuses on a dysfunctional family/group featured in the film, and it also features a future timeline of Ben Wheatley as an auteur. For example, you see the themes of journey, themes of sacrifice, themes of a dark field with a fire in it, themes of the devil, themes of the Antichrist, which is what he will later use in his films A Field in England, High Rise, etc. Wheatley's use of the same actors definitely does contribute to his authorship. He uses quite a lot of the same actors throughout his films. For example, Michael Smiley in Down Terrace, Kill List, A Field in England, and Free Fire. He also uses Robin Hill, who features on Down Terrace, Kill List, and Sightseers. Robert Hill on Kill List and Down Terrace. Tony Way in Sightseers and Down Terrace. He also works with his wife Amy Jump as a scriptwriter and friend Rob Hill for editing, producing, and he also works with Edgar Wright, who is famous for films such as Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, on camera work, cinematography and editing. Wheatley's 2012 film Sightseers focuses on a dating couple, Chris and Tina. They go on holiday in a caravan around England, and throughout the film we find out that the couple are serial killers. They kill people that annoy them, and you see the dramatised annoyance throughout the psychotic montage sequences of what's going on in the rest of the scene, while showing Chris killing people. The soundtrack of the film also adds to the psychotic feel of the film, with trippy, slow-moving music when Chris has these psychotic moments, and also powerful British track, The Power of Love. The film challenges genre theory because, on one hand, the film is a romantic comedy mixed with elements of drama, horror and thriller, and arguably this film mixes in most of the genres known to date. Wheatley's film Sightseers showcases the awkwardness and the relatability of living in Britain to a British audience and also international viewers from around the world. For example, they come across an inventor who has a prototype for a caravan pod that hooks onto the back of a bicycle, and he forgets to put the brakes on, and you see him rolling down a hill. This is a classic representation of how awkward a British society can be. Reaction shots are used to tell the story throughout the film, with character Tina. There is a part in the film where she steals a dog from a fellow couple on a campsite because she reminds her of a dog which she accidentally killed in an accident. And the psychotic mother who she lives blames her for everything. These are used to build up tension, and is also used in building up the character of a psychopath. A flashback sequence is used when you see the dog dying to build up a lot of tension. Like in all of Ben Wheatley's films, this film showcases the theme of a journey that characters experience, like A Field in England and in Kill List, where they all go on the journey. In this film, the characters go on a journey through self-discovery and a journey through England. Wheatley also tends to use a lot of real locations instead of building sets. Because even though the film is set in a caravan, they probably built a set in the caravan, it's still a real location. Mark Commode, who provides a bit of an academic standpoint, says that.
So it is a black comedy, very, very black comedy. And the question with black comedy is always, can you maintain a balance between the laughter and the shocks? Because both things have to be there in order for it to work properly. And it's very, very difficult to get right. And certainly what happens with Ben Wheatley is what he brings to it is the sense that when you do get the explosions of violence, they are, yes, they're broadly comic, at least in the beginning, but they're also nasty. And there is a real nastiness underlying it. The posters for the film are interesting because they say, laugh out loud, funniest comedy of the year, this, that, and the other. It's actually misselling the movie to some extent. I mean, I understand why, but of course, it is a black comedy. But there is an awful lot of brooding, strange darkness under there. And what he has brought to the equation is that the edginess is really there. So you do feel uncomfortable. I mean,
Wheatley's 2013 film, A Field in England, focuses on 4 deserters from the 17th century Civil War, which is something that Wheatley hasn't done before. They come across an Irish thief called O'Neill, and one of the deserters has been tasked to catch and arrest this thief. The thief then leads them into a field with a promise that they will be led to an alehouse with beer and women. On their journey, they are told by O'Neill that there is a treasure in the field, and the 4 deserters have to find it. They soon become under the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms, and the film takes a turn for the worse. The film doesn't explain quite a lot, and as Wheatley has said, it's the idea that you are going to be transported somewhere in context. He also says the main character isn't someone who is going to sit down and explain everything, which means the audience have to make their own meanings. This low-budget film showcases Ben as an author highly, even though it's probably his most different style of film. The film is shot in black and white, and doesn't represent aspects of his usual and repeating auteur points, such as kitchen sink drama style, and his theory of always having some form of modernity in the film, as he has said to Vice in an interview in the past. Also, although it is a limitation of space, it isn't the same sort of small space such as a house, the which is used before. There is an augmented theory that the 4 friends escaping from war are actually dead and in the afterlife. Another theory is that they are in the process of purgatory, where they are trying to get redemption for all of their sins before going to heaven. The film could also be transmitted to audiences as the field being a gate to the afterlife. And there is also another theory that O'Neill is the devil, or the devil has incarcerated him and has taken shape with him, and many clues lead to this. The possession scene where O'Neill possesses one of the friends and tells them to let the devil in. Like in his other films, Wheatley possesses many techniques as extreme gore and horror, themes of the devil and the Antichrist, and themes of some sort of journey. Another main auteur theory point is the scary sense of tingling montage. Scenes like this one, where all 4 characters are on a visually impairing drug trip from the hallucinogenic mushrooms. Wheatley's most recent film, High Rise, shows a lot of his style as an auteur. It focuses on a system of hierarchy within a high-rise building in England, and it demonstrates a system where people on the higher floors are more well off than the people on the bottom floors. And in the end, when the power goes out and everything is in chaos and mayhem, everyone goes insane and won't leave the building. In the film, Wheatley presents a dystopian future, and in this film he uses some techniques which can be seen throughout his other films. For example, these dance montages that Wheatley uses to represent a horrific tension. For example, you'll see these 2 characters dancing and having a bit of a dance-off, whereas in the background there is someone jumping off the high-rise building with no heightened reaction from anyone. You see this again within the film Sightseers, but in this case you have a montage filled with reaction shots from the main characters while something psychotic is going on in the background. For example, them killing someone. More similarities in these films include themes of suicide, heavy violence, a representation of social class in kitchen sink dramas in general throughout his films, the main 2 being Down Terrace and Kill List. Another thing about High Rise is that it's set in the future, whereas Wheatley always likes to have a sense of modernity in his films. This one has a bit of both, and he's seeing the future in his way. He takes influence from the original book, J.G. Ballard's High Rise, and has made the film with Amy Jump again, and a few people he has used before in cinematography and editing, etc. In conclusion, Wheatley's work has influenced me so much in this latest project. I love the fact that he works on a budget and can make some really good films. For example, A Field in England was shot on a $300,000 budget and in a short amount of time. He says that he didn't want to ruin the field that he was shooting in, because usually when you film in a field, the location gets ruined. He also films this in a short amount of time. Like Down Terrace was less than 50 grand budget and he shot it in 8 days. I also love the surreal storylines that Wheatley works with, that are extremely edgy and creative, and something that makes an audience mind blown. I also love the whole kitchen sink drama gone wrong style. It's when something's hidden in the film and the audience have to make their own meanings. It's really interesting to me. And the latest project, I've decided in the style of Wheatley to do something similar to a kitchen sink drama, but with some sort of hidden storyline that we don't find out till the end. That, because Wheatley does that in quite a lot of his films, he will make an audience shocked by something that's gone on. For example, in Kill List, we see the whole satanic cult thing at the end, and there's clues throughout the whole film. For example, Bourget's wife drawing the satanic cult symbol in the mirror to make sure that he's the leader of the cult, and getting his bloody tissues when he's shaving. You also see this in High Rise, when at the end everything goes insane and the walls of everyone is filming each other and they're too scared to leave because they don't want to miss anything that's going on within the building. Decided to conduct a kitchen sink drama with some scary gore, horror. Hopefully it should be good. I'm coming up with ideas at the moment. I've coming up with a few locations. For example, this is caravan park I might use. Yeah, this idea's going very far at the moment. I've come up with some good locations and some good storylines, just in the process of getting it all together. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.